I'm recording this at 1 a.m. of release date. Today is the 5th of July, which is the release date of Lyrical Monasterio. Yeah, we are doing this again. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Season4 here. Today I am back to cover Feltyrosa in DivineZ. At long last, we have finally reached a full lyrical booster set, and I'm really quite happy because, for the longest time, I did feel that Lyrical needed a full booster to support all of their decks with the DivineZ design space, which has so far been really good and promising in support so far. Last night, aka 4th July, they just reviewed the Bruce as well as the Flame Gram support, which were both really good, by the way. And consistently, most of the time, the legacy support for Vanguard this year has been pretty on point. Except to Lyrical. Lyrical, for some reason, half of them are really insanely busted, and the other half are just complete ass, man. Like, they're just really bad. And one of them that's definitely on the fence so far is Feltyrosa. So I rushed all the way down from my pre-release straight to cover this video right away. This is probably the earliest video you will see of Feltyrosa ever online for DivineZ, and I'm doing it first. But this video, because it's in my production schedule, will probably come out about 1 to 2 weeks later. So hello to the people in the future. Please let me know if Shiranui has been emergency hit yet or not. The thing is, and the premise I'm gonna straight away just say first, is that I don't think this deck is solved. I think that a lot of this deck's problems have not been solved. The main problem is that, which is that it needed a good grade 1 booster, has not been solved by virtue of the fact that they did not print a grade 1 booster. I don't know why, but I will say that the rest of the support for Feltyrosa is actually really, really good. Case in point though, but we're not playing her in this deck for today. Case in point is this girl. For those of you who don't know, this is Imheal. Imheal is the rare support for Feltyrosa this set. She's virtually a custom card if she came out 2 years ago. If this card came out 2 years ago in the LBTO2, I would have won WGP this shit because it's a really good effect. But the problem is that this effect is really good if you actually have good grade 1 boosters to play in this deck. And the problem is that right now, the only grade 1 booster that's really worth playing is Ultra from Festival 2024. So links in the description below for my DivineZ Explain video and my previous previous Feltyrosa video, and that is in LBTO4. LBTO4 we did get this girl. This of course is the one and only Calrota, but very frankly, she is just not good of a card. Definitely not in Shiranui format where your whole boards are just being evaporated really quickly. There's really no time for you to say, here's my 5k in the set. No one cares. Alright? No one cares. So today the idea is simple. We're going to try and build a Feltyrosa deck with the new support. And the only other card I've not covered yet so far is this one. And that's the double rare that we'll be covering later on. This of course is Ariosia. Ariosia actually does impact this deck quite a fair bit, but not in the way you think. So yeah, that's basically about all the things I need to say for the premise, just to get you all up to speed for Feltyrosa. I'm very sorry this premise took a long time. I traditionally don't drag out all the premises here, but I wanted to just get us up to the state of affairs with Feltyrosa right now, because I do feel that this deck does have a lot of space to innovate. I do feel that this deck is definitely poised to be pretty good under the right hands and under good testing. So I personally myself, I'll be testing this again. I will be bringing this again for yet another lyrical card, obviously. But I will try and innovate and make more lists, and that's during my free time where I'm not working on my other decks or my life. So let's get right to it real quick. Our right deck is going to be the original and full Feltyrosa right deck, and of course without energy crest. For those of you who don't know about energy, links in the description below for my DivineZ Explain video, and channel memberships as usual are $27. Please help me for the DivineZ Explain video, because it would mean a great lot to me if if that video did well. It's a video I spent a lot of time on, so I would very greatly appreciate it. Okay, so out of the way, enough wasting time. So our right deck is the original full Feltyrosa right deck, and that's because Feltyrosa as a name is a card that is a name that appears throughout the entire deck. So the earlier you actually have a Feltyrosa named Vanguard, the better, in the sense that you can actually use these effects much earlier. A lot of this has been swept under the rug. Most people completely forget about this because they've been playing either the Willista right line or the Xiangna right line for Feltyrosa. I think it's time to stop. Frankly, I've always played the original right deck because I paid money for the SPs, man. Thank you, Card Otaku Desu. Thank you so much. But they are all pretty good now because the latest support kind of forces you to play Feltyrosa names in the right deck. So you'll see what I mean. This is the grade 0 Feltyrosa, the grade 1 Feltyrosa. This is the sexy one. The skill is very simple. When rolled upon, you Soul Blast 1, and you choose a ghost, add it back to your hand. Alright, not bad. And then during your turn, if you have a ghost on your Vanguard circle, this unit gains 2000 power. Note it's a V or R skill. The second one is the Talent of Enjoyment Feltyrosa. This is beautiful day of Feltyrosa. This one is that when rolled upon, you can basically choose a ghost from your hand, put it on top of the deck, choose a ghost from a drop zone, and choose a normal unit ghost, put it on top of the deck, and then choose a ghost from your drop, add it back to the hand. And as a net 0, the only real +1 is technically the grade 1, but that doesn't really matter. This kind of helps you stack the deck, but with the amount of draw this deck has nowadays, in terms of the bad timing of Ultra's draw, you generally don't. Plus, you can now use the energy draw from the energy generator when playing this. I know a lot of people didn't realize that, but when I was playing this in January during the Lyrical Cup, I was like, whoa, the hell. But yeah, you can actually do that, so just keep that in mind. It's a complete possibility. So yeah, the second skill is that if you have 3 or more ghosts on your regular circle, this unit gains 5. Do note it's a VOR skill. Last but not least is the beautiful Feltyrosa. This is her cross ride from the festival set. It's a dress up, so she counts as the original name Feltyrosa. Does that matter? Absolutely not really, but there's one card that does matter, but you won't have to think about it anymore. The second skill is that during your turn, as long as you have a grade 3 Feltyrosa in your soul, all of your ghosts in the front row gain 10,000 power. This also applies to your trigger units, so that's why you are recommended to play ghost trigger units if you break, because this deck is very susceptible to breaking. Just know that this deck breaks. Be prepared. She's a very, very troublesome girl. You will break. And the last skill is the spin-off skill. You can Card Blast 1, and this Vanguard gets for twice per turn effect, which is that if you reveal a ghost normal unit or grade 3 Feltyrosa-sama in its name, you can call it to your rearguard circle, and this unit, an open rearguard circle, doesn't have to be front row, and then this unit gets +1 drive. So generally speaking, if you manage to check 2 ghosts, you get 2 additional drives back, so yay. If not, you just don't, and that means if you check 2 triggers and no ghosts, you don't get any multi-attacks. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, so the thing is that this is the deck's biggest issue, and it still hasn't been solved. I know some smartass in the comments is gonna say, but miss, we got a Soul Blast 2 stacker in set 1. There's no way you're playing that card. No way. You're playing a meta where literally everyone else gets a CB1 +6, and you're telling me a Soul Blast 2 top deck guy is what you're using? Even Dragonic Death Scythe was better. Like, come on, don't be a joke, man. Moving on to our grade 3s. Our grade 3s, we played 4 Feltyrosa, for the grade 3 Feltyrosa. This is the cross-right one. We also play 4 the original, and I will explain why, so do please bear with me. There's quite a fair bit to go through. Then we also play 4 Ingrid. Where did it go? I think I stated it wrongly. Hold on, I'm missing someone. Yes. And then of course we play 4 copies of Adult Height, also from Festival Booster. She's the triple rare net set. And last but not least, we play 1 Forbidal Surrogate. I just realized a lot of these cards are from Festival 2023. Yeah, that's quite funny. Okay, let's get through that real quick. So Feltyrosa is Feltyrosa. Very simple. We play at max copies. We want a persona. I'm not going to explain this very much. Alright, so that's that. And of course, to cover her skill, that you need a grade 3 Feltyrosa and a soul. This is why we play max copies of the original. The original is very much a garnet. It's really bad. it's not a good card at all to play. Even when she was the boss, she was also just not a good card to play. But the thing is that by having max copies of her, you increase the chances of you being able to put E-grade 3 Feltyrosa to the soul. So it generally is quite recommended to play her at 4. I've seen a lot of lists by Japanese players as well that play her at a 2 and 3 offs. The issue I ask is immediately why bother, because they don't even play Forbidden Surrogate in these lists online on Twitter. So my immediate next question is, so how are you guaranteed to pull this Garnet off? You have no guarantee. So to me is to play it safe, and because we're playing in a very aggressive and fast meta, especially given, Shoujo Doji. So yeah, just play this at 4. You generally can't go wrong. It maximizes your chances well enough, and thanks to the state of affairs of deck bloat, which I mentioned in the DivineZ Explain video, it's actually alright in a sense to play more of Feltyrosa, because it just ensures you can see more of her, and she's less likely to actually break you out if you can search her and stuff, which you can. And how you search it out is for Forbidden Surrogate. Forbidden Surrogate is this deck's Regalis piece, and I would say it's a virtually auto include because of how many grade 3s this deck plays for some stupid reason. It's basically bested. So Regalis piece means you only can own 1 copy of it in a deck. So you play this card as a spell card, you search your deck for 2 different names of grade 3s or grade 4 units. If it's grade 3s, you call them to Vanguard circle. If it's grade 4s, you add them to the hand. Fun fact, there is no grade 4s in this deck, so you search for grade 3s, which means you can search for 2 different grade 3 names and call it. One of them can be original Feltyrosa, which, that's pretty good. And then the other 2 can be either Ingrid or Adelheid. Now, these 2 are actually ghosts, so they do benefit from the cross-write effect, so you might want to keep that in mind as well. Ingrid is definitely the star of the show since set 1. She's definitely someone you used to play a 4 off because she's very iconic, she's very big, literally, and she's very strong. In fact, she was even used in some other decks beforehand as a decent generic, like Chris Rain and Mediel. So that should tell you to what degree is she actually important in this deck. So for Ingrid, if placed from anywhere other than the hand, you can counter charge 1 and choose one of your back row rear guards in the same column as this unit and stand it. Sorry, choose any one of the units in the same column as unit and stand it. So you can even call Ingrid to a back row, and then you can just stand the unit in front. So it's pretty good no matter how you use it, whether it's a front or back row call, you just get a stand. And when she attacks, she gains 5,000 power, and in the battle, she goes bottom of the deck. It's compulsory -1. So yeah, but regardless of how bad the card seems on paper, this card basically solves the whole deck, because it's a counter charger, it's an 18k attacker which can scale all the way up to 28, 38, 48. And the thing is that she gives you counter charge, which is that desperately needs. Ultra is generally the card you abuse with Ingrid, so you can move it to the soul instead of bot decking it. And with that, you can actually just loop copies of her because it's a counter blast and a counter charge, counter blast and a counter charge. This again is a very basic interaction of Feltyrosa. If you've been playing this deck for at least a year, you should know this by now. But if not, then I'm happy I'm the first to tell you. And last but not least, we have Adelheid. Adelheid is our Sages clone from Festival. And she's in here only because she's a ghost. Okay, realistically speaking, if I had a choice, I would not want her in this deck. But she's a ghost, so she gets in. If your opponent gets a trigger this turn by the drive for damage checks against 10,000 power, 10,000 shield. This makes it so that even though she's grade 3, she's 10,000 shield, which is very good in this aggressive meta. Second skill though, not very necessary, but it helps, I guess. At the end of the battle, unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 1. And if you do choose one of the units that boosted it, choose one of the units in the same column as this unit that's not it, and bounce it back to the hand. Or you can remove an over trigger as well from your drop zone, choose a card from your hand and call it to a rearguard circle. So although you barely even use these effects, very honestly, they are just not good in general. I mean, why are you bouncing back your booster? Who is this for? But the idea that it's a ghost 23k beater that scales to 43k beater and is a 10k shield in hand, yeah, you cannot say no to this. I know this card is pretty pricey. I'm glad I picked this up right before DivineZ actually, but I would actually really recommend you buy this at a 4 for Feltyrosa because of how good this is. But again, with future support, she could get thrown out of the deck, so who knows. Our grade 2s, for grade 2s, we play 1 copy of Talent of Enjoyment, Feltyrosa. This is for our right deck. You already know what she does, so I'm not going to cover her too much. We play 4 copies of Diethylene, and then we play 2 copies of Roswitha from Festival, and then we play 4 copies of Ariosia. So let's cover the ones we do know. Feltyrosa is Feltyrosa-sama. You already know her by now. In grid, it's not grid. Diethylene is our worst clone of. I wanna say Columbine, but I know that's insulting. Any Grand Blue superior caller, because she's when placed from regular circle of your Vanguard's original Feltyrosa, although that doesn't matter. You sow +1. Choose a card. Choose a ghost that's the same. Choose a ghost that's not this unit and call it to a rearguard circle. So basically, it's a +1 to the board. For a soul plus, that's really nice, but the thing is that she gains no power by herself. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks, you have to board deck her compulsory. So she's technically a vanilla by herself, which makes her really, really bad. But the idea that Diethylene is also a +1 to the board by giving you that 5th attack accidentally is really good. This card is also really good board builder because Diethylene, if you actually followed my advice and moved Ingrid to the soul, you can call out and counter charge 1, which basically gives you an infinite resource loop. The problem is that you need to see all of the above cards, which does not happen in this deck. So again, despite how much power they put in each card, they just refuse to give this deck any form of decent semi-god plussing, because even Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion pluses more than this deck, and that's how you know you're in trouble. And moving on, we play 2 copies of Roswitha. Frankly, Roswitha is a really good card, but we're running out of space, that's why I cut it down to 2. Roswitha is from Festival Collection, for those of you who don't remember her. She's actually really good. Let me explain to you her effects. When placed on anywhere other than a rearguard circle, this may sound familiar. If your Vanguard's Feltyrosa, just Feltyrosa by the way, you can stand a unit in the same column as this unit, again, same as Ingrid, and then after that, this unit gains 5,000 power. So it's not bad, and then when it attacks, if your Vanguard is, you can just give this unit 5,000 power, and at the end of the battle, put it back to the bottom of the deck. So by itself, it's a 15k attacker, and it clears itself, but -1. But if you're using this on the offensive, it's basically your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th copy of Ingrid, which is really, really good. And it, it's the standard one, it's generally just such a good effect. You want to see more of it. The downside is that we're running out of space, and Roswitha is just in between. She's a prime estate booster, but a prime estate beater, but the problem is that she doesn't do anything to actually progress the game. She's kind of a win more card, which is really sad, because I really do like Roswitha. I think she's really good. But frankly, we have more utility cards at last, and that belongs to Ariosia. Ariosia is this set's double rare main support for Feltyrosa. And this is where I have to say that she does not solve the deck, very frankly. But she does give new design potential to Feltyrosa, which makes it worth talking about, which is why I'm doing this video. Again, I definitely think she's one of the worst supports this set. I think there are other Lyrical King decks that got better support, and I may cover them. We'll see how, okay? But other than that, though, she's not really that good, and it's kind of sad. When placed on a regular circle, if you have choose a card with Feltyrosa in its drop zone. Choose a card with Feltyrosa as card name in the drop zone. If your Vanguard's Feltyrosa, you just move it to the soul. Move the card from the drop to the soul. So what that means is that even though it's not really a net 1, it's not really a +1, if you have any Feltyrosa named card in the drop, for example the grade 3, you can just move this card to the soul, and then your cross-right is active, and there you go. There you go, it's all the hatchet. There you go. Now, do you understand why I said play so many of her? This is the reason why. This is literally it. The joke is out. We are literally playing Dragonic Overlord again. Okay, but it's not consistent because, as you can see here, there's no form of plussing, there's no form of searching Ariosa, there's no form of searching the original Feltyrosa outside of Formidable, but that's even to the wrong zone. So that's why we had to play original Feltyrosa at 4 and replay Ariosa at 4. It's a 4-4 package, so we are trying to, force the crossfire as fast as possible. The second skill is actually not bad. The second skill is that when she attacks, she gains 5,000 power. At the end of the battle, it attacks. Immediately, if you did use this effect, you can choose a card with Feltyrosa in your soul and put it back into your hand, and if you do, retire this unit. Now, the 5,000 power is independent, so as long as your Vanguard is just Feltyrosa, you can just give her 5,000 power and she's a 15k attack on turn 2. That is insane news. We are making Lyrical Monasterio Dragon Empire. I can't explain it. Like, I'm so happy we even got a 15k attacker on turn 2. That's just so good. And it's not like Roswitha, where Roswitha has to go back to the deck if you use this effect. Eryusia does not have that restriction, so pretty good so far. But at the end of battle, she attacks. You can choose a card, Feltyrosa, in your soul, put it back to your hand, and if you put it back to the soul, she's immediately retired. Now, by the virtue of her effect saying she's immediately retired, does mean that you do miss the timing for one card, and that card is Otrat, because you cannot use Otrat to move her into the soul and negate the retire this unit skill. It has to trigger in the sense that if you do choose to move a card back from the soul to the hand, you have to retire it immediately, which means you bypass the timing of Otrat and you can't actually use Otrat skill to move this to the soul to draw a card. Very complicated ruling. It's not once you read it once or twice, but it's sad. It's sad if you ask me. I kind of wish it could. I don't know why Bushi would phrase it this way, but I'm alright with it. This is the first Feltyrosa attacker that actually refunds itself. Although it's a very bad refund target. Like, look at these three. Yes, it's my beloved Feltyrosa-sama, but do you really want these girls in your hand? Like, they do nothing. Nothing. But the fact of the matter is, despite being very pretty and I paid a lot of money for them, the fact is that it's still a net 0. As much as you want to complain, it's not a -1. This is a net 0. So I have to play this at 4. Realistically speaking, no, is she a good card? Not really. But she touches a lot of things in the right direction, which is very interesting to me. But she's just not that good. Definitely, if Feltyrosa got one more support time, I know I'm being very greedy, but if she just got one more support time, something like a very good grade 1 booster to really put in and fix the problems on his deck, I feel this girl definitely will shoot up in price at least 10 times. That's how confident I am in this card. If Dragonic Overlord got this, we wouldn't be alive today. We really wouldn't. They could get away in putting this card in Feltyrosa because they know she doesn't have good foundation. Our grade 1s, we play 4 Ghost PG, what a surprise. We play 4 Otrat, what a surprise. And then we play 1 copy of Beautiful Day Off, Feltyrosa-sama. Again, these are all highly predictable cards. You probably would have seen it from a mile away. In fact, I won't even explain it. I'll just put a link in the description for my previous video. You can check that out. I've explained this exact lineup at least 3 times on the channel already, for the original Eventide Moon video, the original LBTO4 video, and this video. I'm not even going to explain it. This is basically the strongest card in the deck. It basically refunds all your -1s into a net 0. This is babe. This is PG. Simple. Okay, moving on. Again, we're going to talk about triggers real quick and our grade 0s. So for our grade 0s, here's what we have to work with. We are playing with the original Feltyrosa-sama because we now need Feltyrosa names. So for all of you who slutted yourselves out to Willista, welcome home, cheater. Play Lyrical OT because it's good. Play 7 crits. Crits is good. 4 ghost crits, yeah. 4 effect draw. As I've mentioned this at least 3 videos already, this deck has very bad draw, so just play more of the effect draw, help you get more pieces. It helps. Okay, it actually does help. There are some decks in your life that actually do need to play for effect draw, and Feltyrosa is one of them because she just needs the draw because her pieces are very impactful, but the cards are just shit. And of course for heal, we just make sure that goes heal. Yeah, and that wraps up my Feltyrosa video for DivineZ. Really briefly, I realized that I've taken up a lot of time in talking about this deck, which is a problem, but I hope through this deck profile you understand something. This deck, while bad, is still really good. This deck has improved drastically since we started DivineZ. This deck has improved drastically since we last saw her in set 4. I wish from the bottom of my heart that they would just man up and solve this deck's one problem. It feels like they are not willing to. It feels like they know what this problem is, but they just want to solve everything else. Like, oh, all the hatchets a problem, let's just print them a stronger one. Oh, reusing soul beaters is a problem, let's just print them another one. Oh, hand is an issue, let's print them a grade 1 that counters the early aggro. But the thing is that that's not what we want. Like, you guys have to understand this by now, that the problems of this deck is that it just needs a way to confirm the multi-attack. The plussing, yes, is a problem, but when we whiff the multi-attack, the deck just loses outright. And I think that's what they don't know yet. Do they? I don't know if they understand this point or not. But yeah, that's really just gonna be about it for this video. Again though, although I'm really nagging and upset, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, perfect for vampires. But the other point is really that I am happy in the first place that is that even got support. I'm happy that, you know, Lyrical Booster actually ends up supporting every previous, you know, every previous deck in Lyrical. I think that's amazing. I wanna salute, you know, the designers. I think that's a huge feat to pull off. But the downside is that some of the supports like Willista are just really bad. Like, what are they doing? But you know what, the fact that they attempted to cover every ground, I have to give them props where it's due, because that's really a big feat. I'm happy that Lyrical gets a main set, because it means that we don't have to keep squeezing in weird Kyoka cards into every main set. But I do wonder if moving forward how they're going to consistently print support for 32 decks. Yeah, you guys really dug a hole for yourselves there. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more, maybe more Lyrical content. I may cover more. I'm really busy with, you know, WGPs and my own life and stuff. But I am still trying to put out content as much as possible. I filmed this video literally on release date.